All right, well, happy Saturday morning to you all. I do a Cub commute this morning. I've got work scheduled today that may run into tomorrow. I'm not sure if we can get it all done today or not. I'd really like to have a day off before I head to Austin. I need to get all my stuff prepped and ready and everything else for my little short vacation. But we'll see how that plays out. So, anyway, taking the Cub this morning. Go fill her up because it's just about empty on fuel. 14.99 miles. So we're gonna fill up on the 1,500 mile mark. When I bring it home today, I'm gonna change the oil. I'd planned to do that last outing and just didn't get around to it. And this refill, I will put the synthetic in there. I'll do probably Castrol full synthetic. I haven't decided if I'm going to go with a thinner weight 10W30 or whatever the manual calls for, or if I'll bump it up to the 20W50. I usually run the thicker stuff in most of my air-cooled bikes just so it has a little better film strength and seems to be a little more resistant to the piston slap and noise and whatnot. But this motor is still pretty new, so I don't know if it needs the thicker weight or not. I'll try it out. Synthetic oils tend to be a little bit thinner overall than petro-based oils, so they can have a tendency to seep by your rings and also cause seal leakage and things like that. I don't know if it's because of the higher detergency, possibly, of certain brands, or if it's just, synthetics, or they just tend to be a little thinner. They can get through places that petro oils don't. That's good and bad. Bad for plug fouling and ring blow-by and things like that, valve seal blow-by. But good for keeping stuff lubricated. So I'll stop here and top off this thing with a whopping 0.6 something gallons of fuel, which is my usual. Right as it starts flashing, it usually takes right at 0.63, somewhere in that range. And for you UK and overseas viewers, I don't know what that is in liters, but it's definitely smaller than a UK gallon. A US gallon is a little smaller. All right, here we go. Well, there it is. Burp, burp. 0.6 gallons. What did I say? Yep, right there to the bar. Yep, it's right on the bottom of the bar. Okay, perfect. So we'll see what the fuel economy is on this fill. It should be better than the last few because I haven't been running it as hard on the highway, not flat open, and also not the motor is just calmer now at city speeds, so we'll see how it is. Yeah, it is really humid this morning. Everything is sticky. Fabric, gloves, jacket, bike. Sticky, sticky, sticky. Yeah. Off we go. It's so humid this morning, even my visor is fogged up, and I'm outside and haven't been inside for it to get cold or anything. It's weird. Sticky, sticky, humid, humid. Yuck. Houston. Humidity is like 90% right now. I don't know what the dew point is, but it must be like a couple degrees below what we are right now. So if I can get done with the work project today, I'd like to get into the Cub. I did the oil change, pull this leg shield off of it, and do the wiring that I'd planned to do. And I'll probably switch out the windscreen at the same time. I'll grab the GV screen and I'll do a quick install video for that and comparison that might have to wait till tomorrow, because I plan on doing that one a little bit more scientifically. I'll figure out a way to mount my audio recorder or a microphone right about here in the low pressure area, or just below the cutoff point of the top of the windshield, and I'll try to get the relative noise level, behind the screen. Maybe that'll give us an idea of turbulence and airflow back there. To open my visor, my face is sweating like crazy. It's so humid this morning. Thinking about the oil change with synthetic, I wonder how much slipperier it's going to be, and how that might change the relative fuel economy that I've been getting on the Cub. It's already so crazy efficient, really good fuel economy. If it gets better, that would just be astonishing. With these small displacement motors, any type of friction reduction that you can do makes worlds of difference for economy. Tire pressures, rolling resistance on the tires themselves for slipperier compound, et cetera, et cetera. Properly lubricated chain, oil level in the crankcase, don't want to be overfilled. All those little things, they can add up to a pretty significant difference on these small motors. For a while I was practicing hypermiling for a number of years. I still do some of those traits just as part of my normal riding routine, but I'm not a hardcore hypermiler. But if anyone's interested in that sort of thing, you can go to, there are several forums out there. One of them I used, I think it was just hypermiler.org, and they've got all kinds of different community contributed advice in there for aerodynamic improvements, mechanical efficiency improvements, but most of it centers around driving habits. Driving with load, coast downs, things like that. So those are what make the biggest difference in overall fuel economy. And of course, with electric and battery-powered vehicles becoming more commonplace, it's not going to be as quite as big of a deal with those. Of course, rabbit starts and hard acceleration and things like that are less efficient because you're turning more of your energy potential into heat instead of motion through friction with the tires and heating up the motor and that sort of thing. But most of the eco-miling tricks are geared more toward combustion engines. I checked my tire pressures this morning before I headed out. It's been sitting for about a week, maybe a little more, and I was surprised to find that I was almost 3 pounds low all the way around, front and rear. I don't know what that's about. I don't have any leaks in the tires, obviously, but the tires must be pretty porous to allow for that kind of leak down. Thinking on the tires for the Cub and the Cannonball next year. I haven't decided what I'm going to put on there. I think this is a fairly common size, so there should be a good selection. Probably going to go with the Michelin City Grips. I've heard really good things about those on other scooters. Technically, this isn't really a scooter size, except for maybe the Aprilias and some of the, I don't even think the Vespas have this large wheel, 17-inch wheels. So, I don't know, look around. I'd like to find something that's a proper radial if they're out there, but in these smaller tires, it's kind of hard to find that. If Michelin made their Pilot Road Series in this size, that would be my first choice. Pilot Road 4s, 5s, man, they're such good tires. These seem to be doing pretty well, though, as far as handling characteristics. They're very neutral. I don't notice any twitchy behavior out of them. When you go throwing it into a corner real fast or whatever, they seem to be okay. They're a little limited on wet traction, I think, because I've felt them slip under me a couple times going over wet manhole covers and that sort of thing, so they may not have quite enough silica blend in it. I'm going to go ahead and take the highway and skip these 3 lights. I just don't like them. Take too long. Okay, so here's a good wide open run on the highway with the new 15-tooth sprocket. A little bit of wind against me, but we'll see what it does. So I'm doing an indicated 61 or 2. So it's probably an actual 65, 66. I'm not tucked or anything, I just have my chin down. It's still wide open. The Cub handles these speeds really well. It just doesn't have any more on top, you know, 60, 63 range somewhere, that's all it's got. But the handling is perfect. It doesn't twitch, it doesn't misbehave. It's really very well behaved at this speed. And if you could get 70, 75 out of it, I'm sure it would handle it just fine. And for having such a short wheelbase and relatively steep rake, that's surprising to me that it would handle so well. I'm sure that can be attributed to the larger wheels, more gyroscopic effect. Make up your mind, buddy. Where are you going? No lane there, buddy. It really doesn't know where he's going. I'm not wide open now, I'm just kind of flowing with traffic, and it's still pulling, you know, 55, 60 pretty easily. So, I don't know, this gear change might not have been a bad deal. I don't think it gets up to its top speed quite as easily or as well. It might be a little bit limited by a couple miles an hour on the top end. This business over here has been empty forever, so I'll just use their front row spot. Thank you. And side stand. So nice. Oops. All right, well, I'll shut it down and go eat breakfast. Well, good afternoon, all. It's 2:30, 3 o'clock. I don't know. I haven't checked the time in a little while, but yeah, 3:30. It looks like 3:23. I am finished up with my work for today. I will have to come back tomorrow for just a little while, but my kids are hungry and they're asking when I'm coming home. Or let me rephrase. My kids are asking when I'm coming home, so that must mean they're hungry. And I'll go home and take care of that, spend a little bit of time with them, and I'll come back this direction tomorrow morning. So I'm doing an indicated 56 right now. That should be 60 actual if my previous GPS test that I did was correct with this 15 tooth. So 56, 57 indicated, it should be 60. So I'm wide open going uphill here a little bit. Wasn't able to gain any speed. So, considering I've finished my work stuff early enough today, I'll probably wait, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, let the bike cool down a bit, and do the oil change on it. And then as the temperatures cool off a little bit later, I might tear into the leg shield project, do the wiring and all that stuff. We'll see how the afternoon goes heat-wise. We got a heat index today of like 105 to 109, so it's pretty warm. If I can figure out how or where to mount my audio recorder, I might try to do the GV windscreen test on this, do the A to B comparison on the noise levels or wind levels, whatever. Man, it's hot. Wind blowing in my face through the visor is hot. Alright, all. Well, another work day done. Saturday afternoon halfway gone. Try to relax a little bit today if I can. Maybe edit some of this footage I haven't had the chance to sit down and work on in so long. And tomorrow is going to be mostly a prep day for my short vacation with the kids. Monday through Wednesday up there in Austin. So, home again. And as always, thanks for tagging along.